Hello, this is Jane83, and this is episode 4 of Pierre Gasly Career Mode on my channel with the Toro Rosso team. And as you can see, we're 7th in the championship after the strong result in China last time out. And today is the Russian Grand Prix, so into the track acclimatisation, and it's not quite a fully purple lap we've seen previously, but it's definitely enough for a purple score and 50 resource points in the track acclimatisation. And then onto the qualifying sim. I'm slightly up at the minute, but then missed the apex slightly, and that is down on the delta now, and I'm not quite enough to beat the delta, and unfortunately that is all I can manage. So I got no points for the quali sim. I didn't bother doing a tyre wear test because I never do. And then onto the resource points now. It should take us up to 490 there. I skipped onto qualifying at this point, so you can see. And now I think we're going to be giving it a new rival.
Hey, looks like you've got a bit of rivalry going on out there. This is good. Gets people talking about you. Just make sure you outperform them, okay?
So Fernando Alonso is a new rival, my agent giving me there, and it's quite similar to me really. He's got a decent car in terms of speed, but not a very good engine, so it'll be an interesting one. But here comes Rosberg on the qualifying lap. I decided my first lap didn't really put me anywhere, so I decided I'd try and get a bit of slipstream. So let a car pass, which in this case is Rosberg, and then did a lap in the slipstream of the Mercedes. So in the hope that I could get high up in 10th place on the grid. And as you can already see, I'm about a 10th up on the time already. So the slipstream is going well. It's not a major slipstream effect from this far back, but it was still there. And then onto the end of the lap, the checkered flag is already gone. We're about 6/10 up on my quali sim, on my quali lap, sorry. And where is it going to put me? Up into 5th place, I think that was. And that is 5th place on the grid for Russia. And the grid then, Ricciardo on pole, Massa with a strong showing in 2nd for Williams, then Rosberg 3rd, Verstappen 4th ahead of myself. Then Vettel, Bottas, Perez, Raikkonen and teammate Carlos Sainz in 10th. I'm not sure where Lewis Hamilton is, but it's pretty odd that he's not anywhere near the top of the grid really. Ricciardo on pole rather than the Mercedes once again, I think for the 3rd time this year that has happened. And Hamilton last place behind the Salvas and Manners, so he just didn't set a time, and that takes me up a few more resource points, and leading the rivalry against Alonso quite strongly, and the driver position against Sainz. And I think that amount of resource points allows me to get a new upgrade for the car. And I end up going for the downforce because that's like another major weakness in this Toro Rosso, is like especially through the long corners like turn 3 here, or like turns 5 and 6 in China. The long corners are pretty bad. So onto the race start then. 5 red lights and away we go for the Russian Grand Prix from 5th place. It's not a great launch once again, and Bottas has got a good launch against me. The top 4 are getting away a bit. It's going to be side by side for about 4 cars. I'm off the track of it. There's a yellow flag in the background. Got a slipstream of Verstappen, but then we get boxed in by Verstappen and Bottas. So that allows Vettel to get alongside. Still, I think Rosberg in the lead. Massa up in 2nd. Rosberg's jumped from 3rd to 1st. We're up the inside of Vettel. Can we put up the inside of Bottas as well? Yes, we can. He gives us the space. But then I understeer wide slightly, and Vettel managed to get both of us. So that's a bit annoying. Down to 7th place from 5th on the grid, but then undercut, do the switch back on Bottas and get back up into 6th place. So decent, everyone else on 1 place, but 3 wide with Massa and Red Bulls. Verstappen gets forced out, and we're back up into 5th. Now alongside, trying to get the nose alongside Vettel, but he's going to squeeze us slightly, so I back out of that. Massa and Ricciardo are still side by side up ahead. Vettel is just behind along with me. I'm going to think about a move up the inside of Vettel, but think better of it. Then Ricciardo and Massa are still going side by side halfway into this first lap, and down to this long back straight. Can we see if we can do anything? It's a very good run on Vettel and Ricciardo and Massa. So, and here we go alongside Vettel, and that is up into 4th place. We've got the run on Ricciardo and Massa as well. Can we go up the inside, but Ricciardo cuts us off slightly, so I have to brake and get off the power. That allows Vettel to have a run back on me. Massa and Ricciardo side by side, me and Vettel side by side. Rosberg has run away already, but up the inside of Ricciardo after he gets forced out. But I'm on the outside of this long left-hander, and it looks like it's not going to happen. So up into 4th though, and then collision with Ricciardo slightly makes me go wide, which Vettel tries to take advantage of. And he's around the outside now, and there he's held it around the outside of the 3rd last corner here, and that was almost a good move. Is he going to keep it there? No, it can force him out onto the curb. Rosberg is about 5 seconds ahead already, so he's sort of run away. But now a replay of the start. 5 red lights. Rosberg from 3rd gets a lightning start and instantly gets into the lead. And then Ricciardo and Massa battle for the first lap pretty much. There's Bottas weaving around in the background. Yeah, so Rosberg gets immediately up into 3rd. There's Hamilton in the background spinning out, you see. And then Rosberg, then it's like 2 lines of 3 cars side by side in turn 1, me with Vettel. and then I think Perez right behind us, but it is Rosberg, and it's going to be a lightning start. He just hooks it up, gets the rear wheel spinning, and there goes. He's straight past Massa alongside Verstappen immediately. Is it Ricciardo? Sorry. Yeah, Ricciardo immediately. And he's up into the lead. But behind him you see Massa alongside Ricciardo, Bottas alongside Verstappen, and me alongside Vettel into turn 1, and all the cars on the outside get the worst of it, I think. But here's the view from Hamilton. This will be interesting. You can hardly see the lights from back here, but 22nd place, Hamilton gets a decent start against the car next to him. He's up into 21st, but then the Sauber just ahead. He tries going for the inside in the kink of turn 1, and that is not going to come off for him, and he spins out backwards, loses a bit of his front wing. I'm surprised it didn't take his rear wheel off, but he survives for now. But here's Vettel alongside me. He gets a pretty poor start for 6th place on the grid. Bottas immediately goes past, who's been getting good starts this season so far. So Vettel can now try and get alongside me after Verstappen boxes me in. And then I brake early, but then let go of the brake a bit, let the car roll into turn 1, and then Vettel gets the better of me, but not quite, as now he's on the outside, but I got for the inside of Bottas as well, which forces us both wide, and because of the downforce of Toro Rosso not being there, that allows Vettel to get up the inside of the pair of us, and that is a decent move for Vettel in turn 3. Now onto lap 4, Ricciardo and Massa are still battling, but I've got a very good run on the pair of them. Double toe, the slipstream and DRS, and is fully enabled up into 2nd place into turn 1 thanks to late braking, and they are still going side by side. I don't know what it is for these two, but they've loved it this race. Now onto lap 5, I'm defending from the pair of them still. Ricciardo has finally got past Massa. Rosberg is about 15 seconds ahead at this point, so it'll be quite unlucky if he doesn't end up winning, but there goes Ricciardo on my left with the DRS, and it looks like I'm going to be too far back to do anything into this corner. Massa's now at the inside as well, so it's going to be 2 positions in one straight, not quite, as I managed to defend from Massa around the outside. But I've just absolutely trained it, and this train goes down to about 11th place behind me. You can see my teammates in the queue as well. There goes Massa past into 3rd place. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult race for me to try and retain this position, but hopefully I can do so, because it'd be very good to get some more solid points for Toro Rosso. And now Verstappen is right behind me. He's going to get DRS and gets the run and gets past. So down into 5th place. This was actually, I'm going to send one back up the inside, so not all bad. I managed to dive bomb Verstappen and get back up into 4th, which is the result we achieved in China. So it'd be nice to equal that again. But now Vettel has mugged off me and Verstappen on the same lap. But I'm going to dive bomb from about a mile back up to the inside of Vettel, force him wide. Now Bottas is right behind as well. So still 4th place onto lap 9. I hit the wall slightly on the right, but Vettel has now got another run on this. My tyres are going off a little bit. Vettel is up into 2nd place after someone, I think Rosberg, made his pit stop. But there goes Bottas as well around the outside, but he doesn't quite manage it. And we're down into 3rd after a few people made their pit stops, but it's effectively 5th at this point. So yeah, you just see how far ahead Vettel gets in this turn 3, because by the end of it, the downforce just isn't there. So in half a lap, I've lost about a second to Vettel, and now Bottas is going to get straight past me with that Williams straight line speed machine. Now Verstappen, who was battling us before he made his stop, is out of the race. So I don't know how that happened, but we managed to take 3rd place back from Bottas. Now safety car is deployed, so I take full advantage of this with Vettel and pit in for the only stop of the race, because tyre wear really isn't an issue around here. So I'm braking for the line, right behind Vettel, and this will really help us compared to Rosberg and Verstappen and the other drivers who pitted the lap earlier. So yeah, it's an engine failure for Verstappen coming onto the back straight, and he's just going to pull off and park it somewhere, which was deemed unsafe, so safety car had to come out. Yeah, I'd say that was quite unsafe. But now at safety car restart, I lost concentration really, and Massa gets straight on me inside, a bit feisty from the Brazilian. And 5th place at the minute. Rosberg has lost the lead. I think Ricciardo is leading from Hulkenberg, hasn't made a stop yet. Then Rosberg and Vettel and myself. Then we hold it around the outside of Massa, but now Massa's got the run. There's no DRS enabled at the minute, but his Williams is a Mercedes straight line speed machine, and it's going to completely bug me off and take 5th place into turn 1. I doubt I'm going to be able to do anything to hold that. And down to 6th, and I got Alonso behind me, my new rival. So, and this is the same lap, Hulkenberg at the inside. Rosberg and Vettel are 3 wide with him. Vettel, there's a massive lock-up. Rosberg has got Hulkenberg for 2nd. But Bottas goes past Vettel as well, so that's not a good corner for Vettel. And he's now 5th place. Not Bottas, sorry, it's Massa. But Hulkenberg losing positions, as you'd expect, because he's on the slower tyre and more worn-out tyre. But I got the inside of Vettel into turn 1. He's lost now a lot of positions in the last few sectors. Hulkenberg now down to 4th on the worn-out tyres of his Force India. So you can just see though, this understeer was really a problem, which is a good reason why we're getting the downforce for the next race. Pascal Wehrlein is out of the race now. Vettel manages to get back on the outside, But here it is, Verline's on the inside of Gutierrez, and I think that's a Renault, it's a Force India, sorry, and Perez just ruins Verline, along with Palmer, I think it was. Sainz managed to get 3 cars in one corner, but here's the view from Magnussen, and up ahead you see the Manor, and Magnussen very lucky to escape the crash of that Manor there. But now Vettel is going up the outside of Hulkenberg with DRS. I'm going to get DRS on the pair of them, slipstream them into next week, and go up the inside. Vettel's going to hold it, but it's going to be side by side now into turn 3. And as you would expect, the downforce is not there for the Toro Rosso once again, and the Ferrari just drives away from me in turn 3. And he's driven away into lap 19 now, and Bottas and Alonso are both going to go past me. There's only about 8 laps to go now, but I'm going to do an enormous dive bomb back up the inside, a bit aggressive there on Bottas. So now I've got my teammate is caught up to his pack as well. So that was a massive risky move, I would say. So a bit of a change of that one, but now Bottas comes back up the inside on lap 23 a few laps later. But I'm once again going to send one attempted dive bomb, but Bottas actually turns in this time fine. But hopefully I can stay close to him so that down the main straight I get DRS again, and I'm able to stay ahead of him, or get back ahead I should say, into turn 2 with the braking zone, but maybe even think about a move into the last few corners here, but no. And Alonso is right behind me along with Sainz now, so 4 car scrap over 5th place between a car that should be here in the Williams, and then 3 cars that are probably punching above their weight in the Toro Rossos and McLaren. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out with this 5th place, but here we go, the DRS on Bottas, and that move I've been planning since about 5 corners ago, just get the DRS, get ahead of him into turn 1, or turn 2, sorry, brake later, and then take 5th place back. But now there's an enormous gap to the top 4, and it's pretty much 5th at best at this point. So Bottas down the back straight on the same lap, goes back up the inside. I can do an enormous dive bomb back again, as we saw a few laps ago, but this time Bottas holds it around the outside, so he forces me out. But once again I'm going to try and just get the DRS on him into turn 2. My tyres are losing their edge at this point, at 56% you see on the bottom right. And yeah, Alonso and Sainz are the ones to watch in this race as well, because they're very close behind. And hopefully I can beat Sainz, because that is the main rival. Even though Alonso has just been given us a new rival, still the comparing with the teammate is still the most important thing in my opinion. So only 3 laps remaining now on start 25. And we've got to try and reclaim 5th place for Valtteri Bottas. So DRS now enabled, we get the slipstream. The Williams is pretty quick, but not quite as quick as us with DRS. Yellow flag shortly, but then we managed to overtake Bottas anyway, so we're back up into 5th place. But then let's look at a replay of that. So here we have Sainz overtaking Alonso at the same point, and Sainz is a little dummy and then goes to the inside, takes Alonso for 7th place. But here's Hamilton, who's about 12th at this point, and I'm not sure what's happened to him in this race, but we can see ahead the banana gets absolutely smeared by Raikkonen and takes out Hamilton. So I'm not sure what happened there, but Raikkonen in the wars once again for the 4th time in 4 races. He just creams the back of Palmer, spins him, and then Palmer absolutely tornadoes into Hamilton, and Hulkenberg gets taken out as well. So here's Raikkonen. He just puts his nose where it doesn't belong, spins out the banana car of the Renault, and that absolutely tornadoes into Hulkenberg and Hamilton. Here's the view from Hulkenberg, and Raikkonen obviously causing a collision. So, and Hulkenberg is unlucky to get caught in that, and Hamilton almost takes him out. Hulkenberg's facing the wrong way. This is very difficult to keep up with this commentary, but here's Palmer's point of view, and it's not his fault at all. Raikkonen should not have done that, and that is an absolute hurricane fest there. And I don't know how anyone doesn't crash out of that. They're all going to carry on, but with wing damage. It is Ericsson and Button taking I think 10th place, which would be good for them. But Grosjean coming back on the carnage doesn't get quite as lucky and absolutely takes out Hamilton and puts him out of the race. And it's not over Hulkenberg, because Magnussen comes out and takes out Hulkenberg as well. So despite there being no collisions in the actual impact, no retirements, there are collisions after that. And talking of collisions, Bottas has just cut me off, and Sainz and Alonso have managed to get the pair of us. But I was a bit annoyed with Bottas at this point, because he absolutely cut me off into that corner, gave me no space, made me go off the track. So, and now he's side by side with Alonso, but that allows Sainz to get about a second ahead and out of the DRS zone, which is pretty frustrating, because he's my main rival and he's now going to get that 5th place, it looks like. But I got back up the inside of Alonso. Hulkenberg's out, as we've already seen. And now Perez onto the penultimate lap is going to try and go up my outside as well. Bottas and Sainz have run away. I outbrake myself a bit, so Perez does the switchback, goes around the outside, and that is a decent move by the Force India, to be fair. And he's up into 7th. He hasn't scored a point yet this year. The closest he got, I think, was when I took it off him on the last corner in Bahrain. So Sergio Perez up into 7th, which would be a decent result. but I can do a little lunge up into the last corner, force him out onto the curb, and reclaim 7th place. But onto the last lap now, Alonso is watching me and Perez battle for 7th. Alonso is going to try and take advantage. I force Perez out, and Alonso comes in, puts Perez in a wall, makes him lose his front wing, and that has Raikkonen and Gutierrez passed up into the points. And Perez once again misses out, but we're going to come around the final corner for 7th place in the Russian Grand Prix, which is not a bad result.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
And I can see now the drivers are making their way out. We need Red Bull fighting at the front. They do an incredible amount for Formula One. And that's another winner's trophy heading back to Milton Keynes. And now let's
So results then, Rosberg manages to miss out thanks to that unfortunate safety car. So Ricciardo wins the race from Rosberg and Vettel. Massa misses out on the podium even though he had that strong showing at the start of the race. Then Bottas finishes the Williams in 5th place, and the 2 Toro Rossos in 6th and 7th with me and Sainz. Sainz ahead of me, and then I didn't see the rest, but Raikkonen misses out on points along with Perez. We saw the destruction at the bottom, but then Championship I'd moved down to 8th below Massa. And then Vettel is still in the lead after he has quite a big gap now from Rosberg and Hamilton after their misfortunes in the previous few races. But down into 8th, Sainz moved up into 10th with I think his second lot of points of the season, and that is going to be a decent result in 6th and 7th for the Toro Rossos. So that should sort us out a bit in the constructors. Perez still with no points. Gutierrez actually got a point, which is dissimilar to real life because obviously he's been terrible previously. But that is going to be the end of this video. There's the constructor, sorry, so we move above McLaren Honda. So yeah, that's been the end of this video.